Hello, hello. I pulled a card today that seemed worth sharing because it got me thinking, about self and about the real self, the core self. And really when we boil things down, much of what we do, many of the practices that we have in a pragmatically esoteric outlook really come down to that core essential focus. Know thyself. The card that I pulled this morning came from one of my favorites, the Black Flame Tarot. And the card that came up, I got the Priestess, or the High Priestess, as many decks label it. And I don't know if you can see here, but if you look closely, you have the High Priestess, and you see a bunch of faces. You see a bunch of masks being shed. Now, if we have active engagement with others, not even necessarily in person, although oftentimes in person, but through the exchange of ideas, their written word, the books they write, the articles they write, the videos they produce, and the words that we hear and think about, we expose ourselves to a variety of ways of thinking, a variety of ways of looking at things. And we develop masks that we necessarily use when we engage with others. You behave differently, you think differently, you process things differently when you deal with your significant other than when you deal with the client at work, or the colleague at work, or the neighbor that you like and the neighbor that you don't like. And the stranger in traffic, and all of these things. And we become very close with some of these masks that we wear because we wear them frequently. And we may find ourselves mistaking the mask or masks that we wear and the emotions that they carry and the thought processes that they involve with ourself. Know thyself might get confused with our behaviors and our thinking. And so what the High Priestess reminded me of today as I saw her masks falling, her masks shedding, she reminded me of the need to disidentify. Know thyself through, among other ways, disidentification. Ask yourself, am I this behavior? Am I this thought process? When I think of myself, do I think I am depressed? Or do I think I have some depressed thinking today? Or I feel depressed today? When I think of the neighbor that I don't like, or the person in traffic, do I think of them as a worthless schmuck? They are a pain in the neck. Or do I consider that today they behaved like a schmuck? We can do a lot for ourselves by disidentifying ourselves from the masks we wear, just by the very language that we use. And as we find ourselves identifying less and less with the things that we do, the interactions that we have, and the relationships that we have, we can have all those things and do all those things, but we don't want to mistake ourselves for those things. And as we disidentify more and more, we find ourselves more easily in contact with that true, or that core self that we seek to know so well. And so today you might consider for a moment, or for a few, the High Priestess, the message that she conveys of looking at yourself, shedding those masks, and getting a more clear glimpse regularly of you